Alright, we talked so slow on the last video. We're not going to talk slow on this video. Let's see if the slow people can keep up. Somebody said, you are a real goofy. They called me a goofy. Another person said, bro, you're just wrong. This case is not getting thrown out. I said this case might be thrown out. See, might means that there's a possibility. I never said this case is going to get thrown out. I said the case might be thrown out. And for the very fact that they are in court arguing about prosecutorial misconduct and not arguing the actual case or not selecting jury to start his actual case, tells you that this is something that is very serious and it has to be dealt with right away. YNW Melly, after today, October 9th, 2023, will be due back in court after accusations of prosecutors withholding info has delayed his trial. Rapper YNW Melly is set to appear in court Tuesday. Today is Monday, October 9th. He will be appearing in court Tuesday again, after his double murder retrial was delayed because his defense attorneys said that South Florida prosecutors committed felony obstruction of justice. Now, according to the defense attorneys, the prosecutors did not reveal that the lead detective in the rapper's double murder case has been previously accused of being willing to lie as he gathered evidence. This is an accusation, though. This is not proof that he had lied before. He had been accused of something before, right? So there was no responsibility for them to let that be known to YNW Melly's team. Had he been found guilty of lying before, or they did an investigation and after some accusations and found that he was, then they could have told them that. Anyhow, this is where they're at. And YNW Melly's lawyers are smart enough to pull this rabbit out the hat at the last minute, which delays the actual starting of his real trial for a whole nother week or even more. Attorneys of Melly, whose real name is Jamel Demons, on Friday asked the Broward Circuit Judge John J. Murphy to remove the entire Broward State Attorney's Office from this case and potentially dismiss it entirely. This is why I said it could. It might, because they filed this motion and it was accepted, as in the judge said, I would take it into consideration. And a week after he said I would take it into consideration, here we are with the official trial date, which is October 9th, to start YNW Melly's trial. And today they would have started picking jurors for the trial. That has been pushed forward by a week so they can use this week to clear through all this stuff that just came up. If it was not that important, they would have never gone through all this before even starting the trial, right? And it is serious as well. Jury selection in the retrial of the 24-year-old rapper was set to start today, October 9th, but the judge pushed it forward a week on Friday and has set the hearing to deal with this obstruction allegations, which is what we've been watching right now. The request from the defense attorney comes after Assistant State Attorney Michelle Botros, who works for the Broward office, testified on Friday that she overheard Miramar Police Detective Mark Moretti, lead investigator in this case against YNW Melly, asked a Broward County deputy to lie for him about being present when Moretti executed a search warrant outside his jurisdiction last October, forcibly seizing a phone from YNW Melly's mother as part of a witness tampering investigation. Listen, Mark Moretti was doing an investigation. They were trying to see if Melly's mom was involved in witness tampering. Was she out here sending texts and sending messages and getting phone calls and communicating with, say, gangbangers or gang members and sending people after people. I'm going to send this person to your house. Make sure you don't testify. Send $5,000 to this person. Don't speak. They wanted to know if she was involved in anything, right? So time was of the essence, and it was crucial for Mark Moretti to get to her phone before she disposes of whatever was on that phone or dispose of that phone altogether. So he went about means of getting it. And what we're learning now is, for one, he was outside of his jurisdiction when he got the phone. For two, I just sat and watched Michelle Boutros, who is an assistant state attorney, take the stand. Take the stand. And she sat there. And she was not afraid. You know what this looks like? This is a huge friggin' win for YNW Melly's team. Because for one, the lead detective in this case, Mark Moretti, his credibility is going to be damaged going into the real trial if he is not removed from the case. Also, what's going to be taken into consideration again now is all the rest of the evidence that Mark Moretti gathered. Did he gather those evidence ethically? I know some people are like, I don't care how he gathered the evidence. The evidence proves that Melly is guilty. Well, in a court of law, if you gathered that evidence, I've seen the police run up in people's spot. Boom, kick off the door, found guns and drugs. And guess what? They didn't have a search warrant. A good attorney went to court and said, where is your search warrant? And they had no probable cause to search. That case was thrown out. The person walked. That's how the court of law works. It's not about our opinions on YouTube. It's not about what we feel on the outside. It's about how the law works on the inside. Michelle Boutros, watching her, this assistant state attorney, watching her take the stand. You know what this equals to? This is like you go and file a complaint against a police department, right? Now, you file a complaint against a police department that they're racist and that they are doing unethical things. And lo and behold, you're lucky enough to get one of the actual police officers that are assigned to that particular precinct or police house that you filed your complaint against, and that police is willing to testify on your behalf. That is some unheard ofness. I want to say some unheard of shit, but that is some unheard ofness. This is how lucky YNW Melly's team is. They actually got an assistant state attorney to turn on. That's crazy. She turned on the entire department. And YNW Melly's attorneys have also filed a motion for everybody else in that department to be removed from this case. Wow. She's sticking to her story. She is very convincing. I just watched her testify. She is absolutely convincing. She is sure that what she heard and what she saw is exactly what it was. And that's crazy. And now, ask yourself, if her testimony is believed by the judge and there is no sensible rebuttal from the prosecution and the accused, which is Moretti, and the lead prosecutor in the case, it's a done deal. It's hands down. Defense attorney Jamie Benjamin said that information should have been turned over to the defense because they could have used it to discredit Moretti during Demon's recent murder trial, which ended in July with a hung jury. This is defense attorney Jamie Benjamin, which is YNW Melly's attorney. Prosecutor says that the exchange between Moretti and the deputy was a joke. They were joking, and she overheard it from another room, and she took things in a whole nother direction, pointing to the fact that an attorney for Demon's mother was present when her phone was taken, and that would have known the deputy wasn't there. Right. So how do we not get to this part? Well, Boutros, again, sat on the stand today. Boutros is the assistant state attorney who has turned against her department to testify for YNW Melly's team, basically. She got up there, she said what she had to say. They're saying she took things out of context, and that's not what was happening in the room, or that's not what was happening. She got up there and she testified how she saw YNW Melly's mom with her phone. She took the phone out of her bag. She was fidgeting with the phone. She can't really tell what she was doing with the phone, if she was sending text messages or if she was erasing stuff from the phone or she was trying to shut the phone down. But she said that the detective, Moretti, he kept saying, don't turn that phone off, don't turn that phone off, or don't erase anything or something like that. Keep that phone open, keep that phone on, keep that phone on. And then he reached over and grabbed the phone from her and physically removed the phone from her. He did not say, give me the phone, and she handed the phone over. He wrestled the phone out of her hand. This is the testimony of Michelle Boutros. Michelle Boutros also said that she decided to take herself away from anything that had to do with this case. The judge asked her, not the judge, but the detective cross-examining her, the attorney cross-examining her asked her why. She said, because basically she was like, I'm not working with any liars. That's basically what she said. So she not only called them a liar behind their backs, she went on the stand to testify that they were lying, and she said in court that she would not work with them on any case because they are lying. So in other words, she is considered to be the good lawyer that wants good in her department, and the detective and the entire department seems to be corrupted. Prosecutor says the exchange between Moretti, which is the lead detective in this case, and the deputy was a joke. And they pointed to the fact that, I don't know why they're coming up with this, because YNW Melly's mom's lawyer was right there when her phone was being taken, and he didn't see anything wrong with it. Assistant State Attorney Christine Bradley, the lead prosecutor on YNW Melly's case, she testified on Friday that the deputy gave a flippant response when he was asked about being in the room when the warrant was executed. Now we're trying to figure out whose words was it that said it was a joke. Did you say it was a joke? They asked Christine Bradley, did you say it was a joke? She says, at no time did I ever say it was a joke. In no interpretation would interpret that I ever said it was a joke. I said he gave a flippant response. YNW Melly's first murder trial ended with a 9-3 vote for conviction. Melly faces a possible death sentence if he is convicted of first-degree murder in the 2018 slaying of two childhood friends, Christopher YNW Juvie Thomas and Anthony YNW Sack Chaser Williams. Their stage names all come with a YNW at the beginning of it because they are all a part of the YNW collective, which we all know. Prosecutors say that Melly, after a late night recording session, he basically executed his two friends in a car while they were riding home, and he got Cortland Henry to drive the car to a certain location where they staged the murder scene and then sent Cortland Henry to the hospital with the two bodies with a story, which Cortland Henry went and told the police that it was a drive-by. They were driving out there on a highway and a car drove by and pop, 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 pop. And he ducked and he couldn't really see what the car was, and he hit the median. First of all, he said he hit the median or he hit the curb or something like that. They looked at the car. There was no, when your car your rims get rashes on them because you done hit a curb or something. If you hit a median on a highway going at high speed, some kind of something is going to be on those tires, on that rim, on somewhere. There was none of those on that car. And right then, they said, this kid is saying something else. And then they started an investigation into where this would go, and it went all kinds of places. And according to the prosecution, It was a staged scene and murder occurred inside of the vehicle. Now, here he is. YNW Melly is on trial for the murder of his two friends, and we'll see how that part goes. But this part right here, where we're still talking about the prosecutorial misconduct, this is huge. This is huge. I want to say this. At this point in the game, right, if YNW Melly was just some regular ninja from the hood, he would have been fried, died, and laid down flat in prison already. Yeah, like a dead perm. He would have already been prosecuted, tried, prosecuted, found guilty, sent off to prison. But he is YNW Melly. He has a huge fan base. I just looked at his YouTube. When this trial started, it was at a certain number. He is at 6-point-something million subscribers now. He'll be at 7 million sometime soon. And he has some money. And that money plays a big factor in it. So for the fact that you have money and you're able to employ multiple lawyers and they're able to pull all the rabbits out the hat, they're able to throw all the smoke screens, they're able to get in there and dig deep and really discredit a prosecutor and really discredit the lead detective on your case and really go in on them and really fight your case from all angles. That shows you that money talks and bullshit walk. So at the end of the day, the people who are looking for justice, they might not see it. And even if the judge does not throw out the case, I've listened to a couple of well-qualified attorneys concerning this case. And most of them, all of them actually have said, there is grounds to throw the case out if Boutros' testimony is taken seriously and it's proven to be true. Because she already turned against her whole department. And that's very rarely that you see that happen. Just like it's very rarely you would see a police officer take the stand and testify against his precinct. Right. So at this point, it's a maybe, but there's a possibility that it could happen, however small that possibility is. What I did notice that most of the attorneys who are qualified said, I don't think a judge is going to throw out a double murder case. He might have to switch some things around. Worst case scenario, some people get removed from this case and somebody else takes the case over to prosecute it, but they don't see the case being thrown out altogether. So we have to wait. And this is going to be a day-by-day thing. They'll be in court tomorrow, Tuesday, October 10th again. And we'll see what goes on tomorrow, as I believe that the lead prosecutor, Jamie Benjamin, is going to be taking the stand again tomorrow. And they're going to be going back and forth under questioning, trying to discredit that whole prosecution department, trying to discredit the lead prosecutor, trying to discredit the lead detective, trying to discredit the whole Broward County department, and trying to get everybody moved off that case. Remember, YNW Melly's attorneys have filed a couple of motions. One motion was to have Mark Moretti removed from this case as a lead detective. They also filed a motion to have defense attorney, not Jamie Benjamin, wrong words, the prosecutor, rather, the female prosecutor, can't remember her name, but they filed a motion to have her removed from the case as well. Not only that, they have also filed a motion to have the Broward County prosecution department removed from this case as well. The attorney's office. This is the attorney's office that the assistant state attorney Michelle Boutros belongs to at the Broward County office, and she has testified against them. I know people are asking, well, hell, what's going to happen to her now? Can they fire her, or can they? No, they can't. They'll have a wicked lawsuit on their hands. She's an employee. She's a lawyer herself, and she is there trying to make sure that justice runs the right way. Albeit, everybody that's involved is saying she overheard. I think she is being a little bit too overzealous because she overheard some stuff and she took what she overheard the wrong way. It's just like you being next door to somebody and you're eavesdropping in on their conversation and you hear bits and pieces, and then you go away and you formulate your own stuff in your mind. But in her testimony, she has every I dotted, every T crossed, though. She said, I told this one on this day that it was unethical and I didn't like it. She told this one on another day, this, that, and the other. So she wasn't hiding it. And this is not the first time they have heard her say it. So they knew all along since then that she was not for it, and that she thought that they had committed prosecutorial misconduct from the inside of their administration. And this was from before the first trial. So it's going to be very interesting to see where this ends. I'll leave this one right here for now as we continue to follow this case, continue to follow us. And my bet is, I won't make a bet right now. I'll just keep on waiting. All right. I'll catch y'all on the next video. It's BrainFLoTv. I'm out. Peace.